Oh, wow. Uh,
And we're live while they think about it. And that was the worst intro I have ever done for this show. Hello, everybody. And I'm trying to sound like I know what I'm doing. Hashtag dyslexic dictionary. However,
man. Doing pretty well, man. Thank you.
That's good. Hi, Gerry. Hi, Keith. You guys both look ecstatically happy. Hi, T-shirt.
Well, that's me for real. That's just a picture of Keith.
He just looks happy in the picture.
Keith's probably
Keith never looks happy in the pictures.
Gary looks like he's prepping for paintball.
I should turn my light down a little.
But yeah, favorite chocolate bar. It has to be. It has to be Norwegian milk chocolate.
I gotta tell you, I have two favorites. Absolutely, they're tied. It's not Mars bar, Mounds and Reese's.
Mine are.
Yondu would get along well.
Mine are regular Hershey's bar and the chunky chocolate bar.
How milk chocolate of you!
And welcome to the chocolate bars that made us. That's what we're doing tonight.
Okay, I guess I'm like totally weak sauce because I like Snickers. And that's pretty much my favorite. But
no, that's good.
If you would like to know the history of all the different candy bars, I am more than happy to tell you because this is an area of history which I am very intimately familiar with.
That's a chocolate that I love from Norway, man. It is 10 out of 10, dude.
Well, you know what separates American chocolate from European chocolate is the fact that when Hershey's was originally designing the milk chocolate, they could not get rid of the sour notes in it. But Milton Hershey actually thought, no, let's keep that. That's a good idea. And so all Americans have grown up eating Milton Hershey's chocolate with the sour notes. So if you do eat European chocolate, it does taste distinctly different from American chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does.
Now,
that's true.
Hello, Cuber. Hello, Kylock, Offnix, and of course, Minion. It's a weird Wednesday. We were talking backstage. We're gonna have PJ from Orville Nation showing up in a little bit as soon as he parks his car and gets home. Wait, that makes no sense. Gets home, then parks his car. English is hard Wednesdays. But other than that, Keith was talking something about Batman being a total mess. And would you like to have the floor, sir?
Well, look, I don't know if I've talked about it on this show, but it turns out that one of the thing that's actually keeping Walter Hamada in his job is the Batman. We
really need some kind of a signal for something. Every time you say Hamada.
Let's give credit first to Doomcock for this.
Yes.
Information.
Doomcock revealed on his latest show that that the higher-ups at Warner Brothers have actually seen a rough cut of the Batman, and things did not go so well.
Where did it go?
Well, in looking at the film, it's got problems, and it's mainly centered on the non-Batman fight scenes. On the non-Batman scenes. All of the stunt stuff is done really well, but that. Excuse me.
I farted.
Oh,
good job.
All the stuff's going pretty well as far as the stunts are concerned, but it seems to be a lot of the problems are centered on the non-Batman Bruce Wayne stuff. In other words, Walter Hamada and everybody at Warner Brothers, the same idiots who went after Zack Snyder, they were the ones that wanted and forced their issue on getting Robert Pattinson cast over the wishes of Matt Reeves, who wanted another actor to be the Batman.
Yeah, he didn't even want this guy.
Yeah. He wanted the actor that plays Beast in the X-Men
Young
films.
X-Men?
Yeah.
The young one, yeah. Nicholas
Holt.
Nicholas
Holt. Yeah,
and,
good actor.
Yeah, he's a very good actor.
Yeah.
He also probably would have worked out. But, anyway, they're going to have to reshoot, do a lot of reshooting, and they have two choices. They can delay the movie until 2023, or they can have some creative filmmaking to be able to cover up the fact that your lead actress is pregnant, very pregnant now.
Right.
Yeah.
Is the Batmobile pregnant? I forgot to ask.
Is it Patterson's kid?
Only if he pulled out.
What if it got a little bit on the exhaust? Does that count?
But here's the
sex. No, it doesn't count.
Here's the other thing. Now, you've heard me say before that making films is a difficult thing to do when in the age of corporate filmmaking and massive profits. Okay.
No, I've actually never heard you say that, but now I have.
Ever.
Boom. So, basically, whatever you spend, whatever your production cost, combined with your advertising cost, is how much you need. It's basically the amount of money that you need to make in order to pay off your bill. And it's normally multiplied by 3. So you got to make 3 times of whatever that cost is. Okay. Yes. So you make a movie for $150 million and you spend another $100 million for advertising. Okay. So you're now, you take that and you multiply it by 3. That's how much you need to make in order
mathematics with Keith.
In order to Hollywood mathematics, in order to make back the basics of what you need before you start counting the rest as profit. Okay, that works for every movie. Right now, at least according to Doomcock, this film is approaching about $400 million.
Ooh, shit.
Okay. This film needs to be a massive hit. And at the time when Warner Brothers was starting all of this, what they meant was a $1 billion movie.
Yeah.
Okay. If you spend base cost $400 million, that means you're at least going to spend at least another $150 million for advertising. So you're already looking at over $500 million already.
So bad.
And that's before you multiply times 3.
What were you saying, Fat Steven?
Actually, Soul Assassin was saying, so set bat bust.
Pretty much, that's the way it's looking. Now, again, this is going to be up to the current people still running Warner Brothers. Even though there's been a quote-unquote sell, the sell has not gone through, and the people that are quote-unquote soon to be in charge are not in charge yet. So everybody that's basically looking at getting fired, they're still running the show. So unless they were immediately fired, they're still there. Walter Mata is still there. So Rome is burning. And the people that basically lit the fuse are still dancing around like they got time and can do whatever they want. And this may not go very well. If they should somehow even pull it out and make a good movie, you have to overcome the cost. It's all about the money. I keep preaching that again and again and again. It is all about the money.
Well, if they want to pull it out, they better hope Robert Pattinson sure did.
But well, that might be a first. But look, ultimately, I think personally, we have not seen the last of Batfleck, especially if this movie crashes and burns. And if this film does what Doomcock has hinted at, then the powers that be, once they launch Warner Media Discovery is now the new name or the projected name for this new thing. You're going to see a lot of people connected with this film go. And I feel bad for Matt Reeves because Matt Reeves didn't originally want all this. You know, an additional person that has to at least share some of the blame is Jeff Johns, because Jeff Johns effed a lot of this up in the beginning.
Yeah, that motherfucker needs to go.
Yeah, well, he keeps finding different ways of sticking around.
Look, man, I am absolutely a proponent for not killing baby seals, but instead taking executive producers out and beating them with baseball bats. I think that'd be a great way to do it. Let those guys that like to kill the baby seals kill a few executives. And look, man, everybody's happy.
Just as happy as the new casting. Do you guys hear about the new casting for Spider-Man?
No, actually not.
I think I caught some wind of it, but no, go ahead.
Did you realize that Rose Tico is now going to be playing the Green Goblin in Spider-Man?
Are you fucking shitting me?
Oh my god.
They're rehashing figures in other packages.
Oh my god.
That would be so funny to buy or get and just troll people with.
That's the worst Green Goblin ever.
She's so whiny, has a Green Goblin.
But on a happier note, actually, Explorer of the Multiverse is sending me the Gary Busey Aunt May. He has it.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, dude, that is amazing, dude.
That
it's
is
amazing.
official Marvel toy. I am not joking.
That's one more side of the apocalypse.
What else are we hearing? Mikey has been sharing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, what have we heard about Mikey stuff lately?
That's what I'm asking you. Yeah, you're the one that reads most of them.
Well, first, let me at least get this other story out of the way first, okay? Star Trek, because this is along the same lines. It seems like there's going to be a lot more changes to Star Trek. They're going to do some more retconning in the upcoming Star Trek universe under Kurtzman. Turns out they're going to make some changes to the Romulans and I think to the Vulcans in these.
Of course they are.
Well, of course they are. And it's not really that big of a deal because it's not like anybody's really watching. At least according to the numbers. And again, the best thing about Star Trek, at least in the minds of the people at the CW, is at least you have a show like Discovery that is way worse than Batwoman. So, you know, that's the only positive thing.
Is it really? I mean, what do the numbers stacks look like?
The numbers are, look, you keep hearing about how bad the numbers are for Batwoman.
Yeah.
They don't even compare to Discovery.
Really?
Discovery is at the bottom of the barrel. Batwoman is standing right on top of Discovery's head going, ooh, ooh.
So really?
Smell how much better our garbage is.
And Discovery has got like a budget 10 times that of Batwoman.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
And because of the contract, again, I keep mentioning this, because of the contract, Viacom has to keep making this crap. They got to do it. They got to keep giving Kurtzman everything he desires as far as being able to come up with more stuff for Discovery, and Picard's definitely going to get another season after this one because they had signed Patrick Stewart for 2 seasons and they're filming him concurrently because, you know, he's kind of old, and and all the other star crap that they're producing under Kurtzman. All that stuff is going to continue to be financed and push forward. All this stuff under normal circumstances would have been canceled long ago.
Do you have any good news?
I am not pregnant, nor is my car.
That's
there
good
you
news.
go. That's good news. We'll take it.
I'm not pregnant either, so that's good.
My Phoenix statue, though, is pregnant, sadly.
Shit.
Well, it had nothing to do with anything I think Gerry has done. Gerry?
I nothing to do with this. I do butt sex, so I can't get anybody pregnant.
Oh, jeez.
Every time I
Wow,
take a
dude.
poop, all I hear is "Daddy, Daddy."
That's like I used to joke with Zoe. Sorry, baby, you're a butt baby.
Oh, God.
Your
But
own
baby.
daughter.
Yeah, well, she didn't know her mom, so she was like, "How did I come into the world?" Because she only knew me. I said, "Well, I carried you for 9 months and pooped you out." That's right.
I did have a question with this though. If this is all true and it's all going to be postponed because they have to redo all the Batman scenes, can they actually get someone who looks like Batman? Because honestly, I'm not joking. The man is a Terry McGinnis personified, and he does not fit this role. His character, his stature, his body in general does not fit a Bruce Wayne. He is a Terry McGinnis, and I had
nobody would argue with you at this point.
And yeah. But I've actually done the side-by-sides, and you actually look at the cartoon Terry and him, it's dead on. And for some reason, they got
That's true.
whatever this is.
Well, that's because they wanted Robert Pattinson. This is all coming from Warner Brothers. And
Fat Steven, I want you to do something for me.
I am not.
Can you please get some kind of a sting or something like that? So that every time he says Hamada, that we can get like a dun 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 or something. That's close, but not quite what I had in mind.
No, but
Yeah, you're thinking
is-
of that classic old movie, dun 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 music. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
yeah, but he is more of a Terry. You know, he fits more to be Terry than Bruce Wayne. That's the first thing when I saw the trailer. That's the first thought I had.
I look. I wish I could. I wish I had better news for this. All I know is, at least we know that Matt Reeves is not one of the people that was sold on this completely. He's just doing the job. You know, he's doing what he has to do to get out the other side of this. And again, I feel real bad for him. Because,
I wonder how this is going to look on his resume.
Oh, geez, it's going to look bad. And the thing is, unlike Zack Snyder, he's not left. He stayed on the entire project. He tried to make the best of it. And like I've said with Zack Snyder, you can't completely be absolved. You did actually direct. So, but I still like Matt Reeves. Now, that said, let's not forget, and I hate to bring this up, let's not forget that Matt Reeves is actually a disciple of J.J. Abrams. In case you guys didn't know that. So in case you guys didn't know that, there you go. So it's either bad luck or karma. Take your pick.
He is like a plague upon Hollywood. His evil stench filling rooms, polluting productions. Calamity.
You sound like a voice character from Venture Brothers.
Thank you.
So at this point, it's going to be a fail, and they don't. They're. What was another movie that did this? They tried to redo tried to redo things to fix it, and it just made it worse. Not Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's a different thing altogether. But there was another one I remember. I can't remember the title. What was it? I guess Black Widow would fall under this too.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
Well, I mean, you know,
I don't think Black Widow will be bad. I really don't. I just think that it's. I don't. I think,
basically that.
I mean, it's just
instead.
It's got no momentum. The problem with it.
It really doesn't, does it?
No. Like Cyberpunk 2077 had more momentum, and they delayed that thing like what, 4 times?
Well, anyway, let me get to Mikey Sutton. And let's see, I had already at least kind of went over part of this story from Geekosity about Warner Media and Discovery. But I think what Gerry is hinting at is the other bit of news, which is oh man, hold on, which is the news about Darth Maul. Is that what you were getting at, Gerry?
Well, that's something I saw today. Yeah.
Okay.
What about Darth Maul?
Yeah, what about Darth Maul?
Well, let me read it directly from Mikey Sutton himself.
Okay.
Disney Plus could be headed to the dark side as Darth Maul is in development for a series. Darth Maul debuted in 1999 Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace. Many critics and older fans bashed the prequel upon release. However, a younger generation saw the movie as their gateway into the Star Wars universe. As more than 2 decades have passed, those kids have a nostalgic connection to the Phantom Menace, similar to 50-somethings and the Holy Trilogy. Adults at the time couldn't stomach the campy antics of Jar Jar Binks, still can't. However, there's one character who is universally loved by all ages, Darth Maul. The devilish-looking, crimson-faced Dark Lord of the Sith is visually striking. However, like Boba Fett in The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, director George Lucas gave him insufficient screen time. The final lightsaber duel with Darth Maul, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ewan McGregor, and Qui-Gon Jinn, Liam Neeson, brought the house down. However, The Phantom Menace promised more Darth Maul than it delivered. Audiences couldn't get enough. Over 20 years later, Darth Maul increased his popularity through novels, comics, and video games. Okay?
Yeah.
So we jump it. Oh, go ahead.
I need you quickly. Can you say Hamada for me, please, Keith? I need to do a test.
Hey, Mada.
Perfect. Exactly what I wanted.
Oh, you
T-shirt
told
is
me.
happy.
Is Darth Maul going to come back as 1/4 of a Sith Lord?
He's a quarter lord.
Like, what-
He's his own dual lightsaber, if you think about it, one for each end.
Well,
Actually,
But so they're
man
talking about
used to
making a
be.
show, right? That's the thing.
Oh.
That's
You know, nothing makes me more sick to my stomach because Keith, what you were reading part of the way, whenever they said, you know, that the prequels were a young people's gateway to Star Wars. I think that the sequel trilogy is going to be a generation of young people's introduction to Star Wars.
oh yeah, it's the same thing for
Yeah.
Star Trek fans. Look at it this way: everything Kurtzman's doing will be somebody's gateway into Star Trek.
Mm.
Now,
They're propagating a problem that
whoever
will
said
not
that
go
about
away.
Patton Oswalt, I want to point out, Patton Oswalt's part of the problem in Hollywood. He's one of those woke fucks, and he, as much as he likes to delve into really cool shit, he delves into it the wrong way.
I've never liked that smarmy motherfucker.
I used
He's
to really
MODOK.
like him. I used to really like him.
He ruined MODOK.
Yeah, that show is garbage.
Oh, that was
Absolute
don't even
fucking
talk about
garbage.
it, man.
hey, can I at least finish the story?
Sorry.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Continue.
Okay. According to insiders, the Darth Maul show was originally intended to continue the story, but the Lando program could pick up that plot. Currently, I can't get a definitive answer which time frame this show will take place in. No word yet, too, if Ray Park will return as Darth Maul. It seems quite likely he will be offered the role back. With The Mandalorian and the upcoming The Book of Boba Fett, Disney Plus is aiming for the edgier side of Star Wars. Darth Maul fills in this category. This program hasn't been greenlit as of yet. These are simply early discussions for now, meaning that they're paving the way for everything post-Kennedy and post-Lucasfilm Story Group. So this could be a good thing.
Well, she's not post yet. She's not post until she's out the fucking door.
Well, it takes time to put stuff together. You can't just do something. You've got to prepare for what happens in the immediate aftermath of her leaving. And trust me, okay, at this point, I wouldn't put past anything with the Lucasfilm Story Group to do a bunch of hinky stuff between now and the time she goes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's just the kind of people we're dealing with.
But a show of Darth Maul. I'm tired of Darth Maul at the moment.
Wait.
Really?
Is this gonna be like a
Okay.
prequel? Or is this going to be taking place like right after
No. That's one of the questions that have been asked.
Yeah, either it has
They
to be
don't
like
know.
it has to be a prequel to Maul, or it has to be maybe after Solo or between Solo or whatever around those timelines.
They'll have to show flashbacks and stuff like how he survived, because I know everybody's going to want to know. The dude was cut in half. God damn it!
It was either duct tape or Gorilla Glue. I'm guessing it was one or the other.
Well, they actually
some strong shit.
They actually continued his story in Star
Clone
Wars, Clone Wars.
Yeah, the Clone Wars.
He actually did survive the fall.
Yeah, but grown-ups don't watch that.
Well,
I watched it.
I don't.
I don't like the show. I like the
case.
2003 one, but I don't like the Clone Wars, the new one. Never been a big fan of it.
Well, look at it this way. If it turns out that Dave Filoni will be running stuff or will be towards the top, then get set to see a lot of stuff related to Clone Wars filter itself out through all things Star Wars post-Kennedy. He has never been shy about basically putting a lot of power behind stuff that he created. That really is Dave Filoni's big thing. If it's something that he had a hand in creating, then you're going to see a whole bunch of those types of characters. In fact, a lot of the characters that people have been excited about in recent years, they're all connected to Dave Filoni one way or another.
True.
So
That's a lot of people. Yeah, that is true.
Pretty much everybody who cameoed in The Mandalorian the second season.
Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So, one way or another, Dave Filoni's influence will continue, which means while I don't see his boy getting an opportunity to make his trilogy, with Dave Filoni in some apparent leadership position, RJ is lurking in the corner somewhere. And by RJ, I mean the round-headed boy.
Yeah.
Because he and Filoni, they are boys. They are down. So.
Yeah. I have a bad feeling.
Me too. It's not just a suggestion.
I was gonna say it's just a pizza you ate.
There is that. But look, there is some happy news in all of this. I mean, look, we are getting a brand new company called Warner Media Discovery, as I had discussed before. Okay. And according to Mikey Sutton's Geekosity, if Warner Media Discovery merger pushes through, DC Films could resemble Marvel Studios afterward. Okay. Now, it was reported earlier that there is a planned merger between the two media companies. Yeah, we all know that. The deal would unite Warner Brothers and Discovery's collection of streaming and cable channels. That would form a new company, which in turn will have a big shift in the corporate structure of corporate entertainment Hollywood. Discovery CEO, aka the Grim Reaper, David Zaslav, will take over as the boss of this new company. Warner Media has what?
Question? Why is he called the Grim Reaper?
Yeah, who calls him?
I do, because that's what he does to the dead weight of any company he absorbs. If you are someone that is not able to contribute, or you're just a plain a-hole, he will get rid of you. And unlike AT&T, he knows what he's doing. He's kind of like an idiot savant in that he memorizes numbers and all kinds of stuff related to media and to entertainment and film and television. He knows who's actually doing what and how much you're able to contribute and how much you've actually done for the company. He is going to truly weed out all of the true undesirables and a-holes that have basically been slowing down Warner Brothers for years. So
you better not pout. You better not cry.
Yeah, basically. Basically, for those of us that actually believe and want to see Warner Brothers do better, David Zaslav is your dude.
That was Terry and Robert.
Let's see. Warner Media has not been doing well as of late. The sudden announcement of distributing their new movies through streaming on HBO Max didn't sit well with the filmmakers. Furthermore, the success of Zack Snyder's Justice League, disliked by Warner execs, only proved to Zaslav that Warner Media has been making a lot of poor decisions. A lot of us know that DC films and their television shows don't really have don't really have this unified organization. At times, it feels like they're trying to outdo each other. The TV division is trying to make a connected universe. The movies, on the other hand, are a mix of connected and unconnected projects, especially under Walter Hamada.
Yeah.
Zaslav is already looking into how to improve the DC films by restructuring it similar to Marvel Studios. To clarify, structurally, not stylistically. Basically, DC films might have a central figure to be in charge of their movie and TV properties. This will be their version of Kevin Feige at Marvel Studios. Zaslav is interested in making the DC films connected like it was with Zack Snyder's DCEU. This is what the Snyderverse truly is. He plans to restore it, but he will still evaluate the Snyder Cut numbers on HBO Max. This means that Ben Affleck's Batman, Henry Cavill's Superman, and all other characters and actors may have a chance to return theatrically.
Yeah.
Right now, a number of movies in development are not connected to the Snyderverse, except for the ones already planned years ago.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Look at Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, Robert Pattinson's The Batman, and the planned J.J. Abrams' Superman. These are happening because of Walter Hamada, president of DC-based film production. Hamada preferred standalone movies, which can work like Joker. However, many of these movies won't have the lasting appeal like what Marvel Studios has done because Walter Hamada is lazy. Since Zaslav's vision is different from Hamada's, it would be most likely render Hamada's future in DC questionable. In other words, Zaslav is looking for the one to lead DC films once Hamada is out of the picture. Why does Zaslav want to make it similar to Marvel Studios?
Does it work?
This is to increase the value of Warner Media. Making separate independent movies is all good, but Marvel Studios has proven we haven't seen what Marvel Studios has proven is something we haven't seen before in any studio. A shared universe makes the company more valuable when it works. Zaslav intends to sell Warner Media years from now. DC Films always had the chance to make a successful cinematic universe. Even the fans are patiently waiting for it to happen. It could have failed like what happened with Universal's Dark Universe.
I have to interrupt you quickly, Keith.
Yeah, go ahead.
Please welcome PJ. The Orville Nation has landed.
Hey,
PJ.
Hey guys.
Hello there.
Sorry, I'm late. I could not open up Twitter. Twitter would not let me open up to get the link. Sorry it took so long.
I thought you were having problems parking your car.
Oh yeah, I was having a little trouble getting home, and then I ran into Twitter problems. So, but thanks so much for the invite, guys. It's great to be here.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here.
I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. just finishing up.
I'm not as excited as everybody else that you're here.
You're an asshole.
Anyway.
Yeah, but I see what you're saying, Keith. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. It could have failed like what happened with Universal's Dark Universe, which was at that time run by Alex Kurtzman. But DC has what the Dark Universe did not, a lot of amazing stories to draw from. Furthermore, this makes every comic book fan excited to see these stories transition into the silver screen. We know fans, even Marvel fans, really do want DC to succeed. Cough, cough, Kevin Feige. Changes within the merger won't take effect until 2022. But it is interesting that Zaslav is already looking into the future of DC films. Like I said, for those of you who really want this to work, remember his name, David Zaslav. He's going to start basically snapping necks and cashing checks real soon.
That sounds like a Steven Seagal title. But that's awesome and terrifying. I can't wait to see like that giant shovel come out like old Looney Tunes when they're cleaning off the stage and stuff. Just, off the Apollo Theater. Just get the fuck out tomorrow.
Well, I'm hoping that they have it live and ready to go online to show Walter Hamada being escorted off the premises. So. But the big thing is,
nemesis.
No, he's not my nemesis. My nemesis is already gone. That was Toby, or as Walter likes to say, "Are you Toby?" So, Walter doesn't know what he's doing. That pretty much has been proven. And this whole plan that he has is a lazy person's way of doing things. We're just going to make all the movies individual because it's easier for me and I don't have to learn anything. And it puts all the emphasis on the filmmaker. So if it fails, I can easily blame them. But I'll still collect a paycheck.
I would seriously like to go to all the execs over there at Warner and ask them or conduct a poll and say, okay, I want you to name 3 DC characters
that have not been in film up to this point.
Yeah, I bet you none of them would. I mean, they'd all probably go, Batman, Superman, maybe a couple of them would remember the Flash.
Maybe. But again, as I've learned and others have been learning, nobody in Hollywood actually reads comics. None of them are truly fans, which is the reason why we have that wonderful unicorn called Kevin Feige. So, again, if you're feeling good about Sony, you shouldn't. If you're feeling good about Universal, you shouldn't. If you feel good about Disney, well, you've learned your lesson by now. And and Warner Media, well, it's trash. But none of the studios, no matter what they say, none of the top people over there read anything like that. And that's unfortunate. Because especially with Warner should be making a whole lot more money, and they've gotten more Academy Award nominations for the more outstanding Academy Awards than even Marvel has. If things had gone a different way, they would have already had 3 of the major acting awards by now. So they've only gotten 2. So best actor and best supporting actor. That's DC Films, not the MCU.
I have 2 quick grievances. One, both of these people are on Tatooine, yet they're not side by side. So what is going on here? They're not side by side in the same picture. And the other thing is not a grievance, but I really want to ask a question, and it's towards PJ. Is that okay, Keith? I didn't cut you off. Did I?
No. I'm done.
He's done.
I don't want your wrath where I get like a Facebook message.
I'm not going to get mad at
Stick
you at all.
a fork in him. He's done.
All right. I am going to swap formats, and I wanted to actually do this because, PJ, I've told you recently that I've never watched any of the Orville except for maybe one episode, right? I've been trying to save it. I didn't do that. That's not fair. I did not do that. I did not kick Keith. I did not kick Keith. That was not
what
me.
the fuck, dude? What did he ever do to you?
I'm being nothing. I touched the cheese. But I wanted to actually spotlight you for a little, PJ, and try to get you to sell people that are watching right now, as well as us, if they haven't watched it, what is so good about the Orville. Is that okay to have that kind of format with you right now?
Yeah, sure. Wait, did you say you hadn't watched much of the Orville? Is that what you said?
One episode, and you were shocked last time we talked.
PJ,
PJ,
just so you know, I fucking loved that show.
There you go.
Yeah,
I am a huge Orville fan.
That's why Gary's on Tatooine with me.
So, Keith, I didn't kick you. You better say that to the chat now, otherwise I'm going to get canceled by tonight.
Dude, I totally know he did it. Admit it, he did it, didn't he?
Orville, it's such a great
Dude,
show, though.
I have this little outline on me. It looked like a Force ghost or something.
Oh no, that's the
Ooh.
female force trying to cop a feel. That's what it is.
But the show is pretty good, though, the Orville, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
dude.
only one episode that bugged me, and it's because they made a huge mistake in the A, B, and C storylines. Was the one with the porn addiction,
Ah, yeah.
What was
yeah,
the mistake? What was
the holiday? That should have been the C story instead of the B story.
Fair enough.
The story about the people on that planet that they were trying to save, that was the story that they should have focused on. That is a TNG type way of telling a story, and he's he's a huge fan of TNG, and I think they really screwed the pooch on that one, and it got a lot of negative criticism over it too.
That's a good point, Gary. Actually, it is. A
Yeah.
good point. Yeah.
It really is.
Well, I've enjoyed every episode of the Orville.
Same.
I am just. In fact, my wife finally got around to watching the Orville after me just telling her, you got to watch this. It's great, and she is completely now an Orville fan. But she's done waiting. She's waiting for next season, and she can't. Just like, how long is it going to take them? I keep telling her it's going to take them as long as it's going to take them, because I want to see it done right, and I want to be entertained. And I just love the quality and the care that that everyone that has worked on the show is making it with. I truly appreciate that as a desperate Star Trek fan.
Yeah.
PJ,
And
you don't have to sell
Hulu, right?
anything.
The third season will be on Hulu instead, right? If I don't remember wrong.
Mhm.
I'm thinking we're going to get it September, October. So it's it's not. There's not long to wait. So.
Oh, I'm hyped. I'm pretty hyped for it. Hopefully, it will be a good season.
All right, for a guy who's never seen it, let's go from this side of the coin, who's never seen it except for one episode but heard only good things. How would you sell this to me or people in the chat? I'm guessing Kylock hasn't seen it either. And what we would expect from her, what we should go looking for when we first get introduced to it.
Now, I think that, well, first of all, if you're a Star Trek fan, it's a no-brainer that you should go there right now, because the quality of Star Trek is, diminished, to be polite. And
very polite.
and there is a very spiritual connection to Star Trek, especially TNG in the Orville. And the interesting now, if you're not a Trekkie, there are a lot of people. I've met a lot of people who've come to love the Orville through just being Seth MacFarlane fans, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. And even a lot of them didn't think they were going to like it, but because they're not really into sci-fi. But once they started watching it, they have become sci-fi fans. So I don't know. There's a whole lot of different ways to come into the fandom. I think the best thing to do is to give it a shot, and you can't just watch one or two episodes. You want to really try to get through season one, and it really finds its footing towards the end of season one, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree on that one.
Yeah, and what I understand, because when they started season 2, there were a couple of missteps, including that holodeck one with the addiction to porn that were actually shot season 1 and didn't come out until season 2, and I suspected that was one of them, because it was not in line with any of the other ongoing stories.
Gotcha.
I think they had talked about that. I think they had
it.
talked about. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just going to say, I think they had talked about that before, that there was an episode of Orville in season 2 that was originally meant for season 1, and they held it over until season 2. And I think that particular one was that one.
Yeah, so. See, it felt out of place with the rest of the shows, because season 2 just nailed it. I mean, out of the park stuff. I just absolutely, I enjoyed it season 1. I fucking loved it season 2.
Yeah, I've said before that it's really easy to look at Orville as if it is another ship in the Federation at the same time TNG is going on.
Yeah, even though that's
Yeah.
not it, I have always enjoyed the fact that there are those who believe that it is in the same universe and knows about Star Trek, at least as entertainment.
But by the way, I can totally see they're gonna. It's been rumored that they're gonna troll Trek in season 3, and I can totally see them like finding Priya, going back to the past, meeting Gene Roddenberry, and starting trying to save Trek from Kurtzman or something.
I would love something like that.
That would be awesome.
Can I ask a question though? Is it more in relation to TOS, TNG, DS9, Voyager? I'm not saying anything Kurtzman. Like, how does it pull from all of it, or does it have like nuances of one main genre from them?
It's a lighter-hearted version of TNG, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So like Weekend at Bernie's TNG kind of style.
I mean, at the beginning of season 1, there is a little, there's a lot more bathroom humor. The humor really finds its place, and they really find themselves, into season by the end of season 1, season 2.
Yeah.
So, and I just want to say one thing to what Gerry said before.
Who?
Gerry.
Gerry. I'm
You
subconsciously
Gerry?
saying it because it says not Gerry. What Gerry said before of that episode being kind of a season 1 episode, and what made me think about that too, and I'm just remembering it now, is that the fact that there's a tardigrade, and that's a very parallel to Discovery season 1 thing. So.
I tell you what, the episode that really hooked me was actually the very first one. Because the line and the thing is when they're arguing on the bridge, they look at the alien, and the alien turns and says, "A marriage takes work." Fucking died. I died laughing.
Yes. So good, man.
Yeah, I also read that they're updating the sets to look a little better. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, they have more budget now.
Yeah, well, they kicked the shit out of Discovery.
Oh yeah.
Easily.
Easily.
Oh
Hands
my
down.
God, Offnix, you have a pocket full of go fuck yourself right here. I got another pocket. Let me know if you want me to look in that pocket. I'll let you know what's in there.
Well, look, I love, as I said before, I love everything about the Orville. I especially love the fact that Jon Favreau was one of the people that helped get it on the air. I still think that, to me, really is the crowning achievement of being a geek, to have worked on something like what he's done with The Mandalorian, and to also put forth something like the Orville. I would really like to see him cross back over and direct another episode or two of the Orville, because I think he directed the pilot.
Yeah, he did. He did the first one.
Keith, you have a little man crush on him? Little one?
Jon Favreau?
Yeah, who
Yes.
doesn't? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, who doesn't?
I've
Ever
had a
since
man
Rudy,
crush
right?
on him since '96.
I mean,
I don't.
Jace, you weren't even
if you don't
around
have
in
one on Jon
96.
Favreau, do you at least have one on Kevin Feige? I mean, how do you not have a man crush on any of these?
But if this is crazy, babe, I don't want to be sane. I'm in love with you, Wendy.
Oh, Captain!
That was my bad, Keith. I literally, I'm not.
That's
touching
all
my
right.
mouth anymore. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but you didn't stop it.
Because then everyone in the chat would be upset. So yeah, so
Yeah,
far
you had to let
I've
it run.
magically kicked Keith, and
Yeah, my beef with the Orville is one person, and it's because of some of the shit that he did in the past, and that's Brandon Braga, because he fucked over Ronald D. Moore.
How so?
If you don't know the story behind it, after they finished the last Star Trek movie they did together, Ronald D. Moore had saved Next Generation. He was brought in and saved Deep Space Nine, and then he was brought in and saved Voyager. He worked on the films, and he was guaranteed the next television project. He left work and came back because he forgot something at the fucking office at Paramount. And when he walked in the office, he caught Braga and who was it, Keith? I forget the other producer.
Actually, it was Brandon Braga and
not Pillar.
Right? No.
Not
It's
Berman.
Brandon Braga. Yeah, it was Berman. Berman and Braga.
shit.
Rick Berman. That's it.
And
They were
Rick Berman was the
secretly
one
meeting.
Yeah.
The next Star Trek show, Enterprise, without Ronald D. Moore. And Ronald D. Moore walked out of there heartbroken and fucking livid.
And that's the reason why he quit.
He quit because they did that to him. And Brandon Braga has done some other shitty things that Keith and I know with a friend of ours, Travis, and the guy who is doing some of the effects for the show Orville. He and a friend of ours made a show together that was called First Contact that was in the Star Trek universe. They showed it to Brandon Braga, and it ended up being used twice without them getting paid.
What?
And Brandon Braga then hired the guy to pay him back for doing the effects on Orville. And I'm glad he did that. But my other friend, Travis, he just simply got fucked over.
Well, look, I think
he's Hollywood, man. Brandon Braga's Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hollywood's all about fucking each other over, though.
I will say this about Brandon Braga. I think he has matured a lot since his days of working under
I would
Rick
agree
Berman.
with that because I like his work on Orville.
Yeah, and I think he's changed working with Seth MacFarlane, and I think I think a lot of the mistakes that were made are things that I think he looks back on and wishes he hadn't done those things.
I do want to point something out to you guys, whether you're aware of it or not. There is a show called Cosmos with Neil deGrasse Tyson. And I don't give a shit what y'all say about Neil deGrasse Tyson. I like the guy, okay? But you will notice, if you watch that show, that it feels, especially the intro and stuff, feels very TNG. And that is because in the credits...
Look, he's a fucking TNG fan, man.
Yeah,
he loves Star Trek.
Well, yeah, but Berman and Braga have something to do with Cosmos.
Not Berman.
Well,
just
Braga. Yeah,
just Braga. Berman's retired.
Oh, okay, yeah. But the deal is, that's some old Trek on there, and it has some very Trek feeling, especially the effects and the music and everything about it. So it's it's really fun to watch that. To watch Cosmos.
Sounds like you in the show Cosmos need to get a room.
I may or may not have.
I don't think T-shirt's going to be happy until he puts his penis in it.
I may or may not have masturbated to Neil deGrasse Tyson once or twice. Okay.
I didn't need that picture. I did not need that picture.
Sorry, PJ, but this is what happens when it derails.
It took me so off guard that Jupiter's Legacy is kind of cancelled.
Already?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shit, they didn't even make it a season.
Just one season.
I just don't think anybody really got into it. And it's really sad because
I loved it.
I think that's going to have an impact on Millar's contract with...
yeah, because I loved that show, to be honest. It was one of my favorite shows so far in live-action superhero stuff.
I've always said that Mark Millar is like mega sleazy anyway. So
I've actually... Sorry about that, T-shirt. My bad.
So that's pretty sad.
Well, there's good news. I've been recasted in Under Siege 3.
God, no.
That will be the only movie I will pay for for a while.
I wanted to ask Steven, has the real Steven Seagal ever said anything to you?
Not yet, but people keep tagging me in articles about him doing things with mansions and women and stuff. And I'm like, you do realize I'm a satire of the fat satire. Like, I know, here you go. I'm like, oh, great. I have no money, yet I own mansions. And all these women are saying I was toxic. That's great. It's like high school.
Of everybody here on this panel, I'm probably the closest to the actual Steven Seagal. But
we don't talk about that night.
That's
meaning that he has sexually harassed a lot of women.
No.
Wow.
And that's where I mute my mic.
Well, wow. I just don't know what to say after all that.
Well, it sucks because I just started watching Jupiter's Legacy, and it starts out pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it so far. I'm one episode in, and I'll watch probably an episode a night until it's done. First episode was good. That sucks to hear that, because I know Keith and I announced that it was it Layfeld and
Rob Liefeld
first
or Layfeld
that got a contract with Netflix because they wanted to start their own comic book IP properties for their own network, and this was the first showing of what they paid for. Layfeld stepped out. He just left the contract. He might have been fired. I don't know. But Miller stayed in, and this kind of sucks for him because this is what they were working towards to get away from Marvel.
Well, now he still has a few other things ready to go. I mean, the Magic Order, I think, is probably the next thing they're doing, and that comic book rocks. But it's all about how you translate.
Netflix ordered Super Crocs live action from the Miller world, and I know that Mark Miller also announced Nemesis, one of my favorite comics, was going to be a live action TV show.
But we also got Netflix, who also now has not only the Berserk with Keanu Reeves movie now owned by them, they're going to have the follow-up from the movie in an anime.
Yeah, that's going to be badass, dude.
That's
going to be so badass.
That is going to be the Cobra Kai #2 of if they get it right. Yeah. So I can't wait for that.
It's still really sad that they canceled the show, man. Fuck, I'm pissed, dude. I'm just.
Well, anybody didn't market it well?
Yeah.
I have to take a cigarette for this, man. A stress cigarette.
Is anybody looking forward to Matrix?
Yes.
Not me.
No.
I actually am. I've been waiting for so many years.
Disappointed in their sequels that I can't imagine them being any better now than they were then when they were at their peak.
I'm one of the few people who likes the sequels also. Yeah, they're not perfect, but I still like them. But
I think the Animatrix was superior to any of those.
Amen to that. Animatrix was the best sequel to the first film.
Yeah, that I agree with. Even though I like the other sequels, but I do agree with that.
Junkie XL did the soundtrack for that, right? Because that was one fantastic soundtrack, or at least he did some tracks for it, like Fatal
Thomas Hulkenberg.
Yeah. That whole album, that was great. Like, because they did it in a way that reminded me of Animatrix did, but someone else did something like that before, where it was short stories. It was the Batman one. Which was it? Year Zero? No. Which was the one?
No, it was Batman Gotham Knights.
Yeah, that one. It had the same type of feel, just not the same amount of good music.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Thomas Hulkenborg is awesome.
Mm-hmm. He is awesome. I follow him on Instagram. But cool. Getting back to Netflix, I like the old guard, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of the old guard. If they decide to do another old guard movie, that's the film with Charlize Theron. Which, if you guys haven't seen it, you need to watch it.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
It's definitely worth your time.
Yeah, it's on my list.
It's on my list.
Watch. It looks pretty interesting.
It is definitely one of those shows. I mean, one of those properties that I think Netflix could get a lot out of. And again, they desperately need a lot of original content because I think they're the only ones not really connected to a major studio that can actually have a back catalog of content ready to go. So they're having to make this up as they go along. I'm not surprised by by them deciding to get rid of Jupiter's Legacy. If it doesn't hit a certain number, they got to let it go. They can't afford to keep going with it. And I'm disappointed.
They confirmed the spin-off, though. They canceled that, but they're gonna do spin-off. So it's kind of weird.
I mean, they got Love, Death, and Robots, and
that's a good show.
It's a good show. I did like the second season is fine. It's not the best, but I still liked it.
Well, there's still until further notice, they are still running the 3 and out plan. Okay, Netflix is not going to change that, which means even if your show makes it to season 2, you can almost pretty much guarantee that season 3 will probably be the final season, even for shows they like.
Yeah.
So that's because they don't want to pay more for another season to keep the talent and everything else. They'll just make 3 seasons and be done with it. So that's going to happen one way or another to a lot of their properties. That's the reason why Umbrella Academy. I mean, this upcoming season is going to be their final season, unless otherwise noted.
I still wonder what they're gonna do after Ellen became Elliot. If they're gonna, what will happen with the show?
What do you think of that picture though that they posted?
Somebody posted that he could kick everyone's ass. I'm like, no, I would sit on his ass and that would pretty much end it.
You know what? I look at it this way. That's what makes him happy. That's great. I'm just worried about the quality of the stuff that I'm into. And the fact that Elliot's a part of that, that's fine. I'm cool with it. It's just give me good quality stuff, because Hollywood seems to be in this thing where they really cannot. I mean, trilogies seem to be really, really hard, and technically they are. They shouldn't be easy. Not everybody can do it.
Do you think they're gonna change the character's gender in the show, or do you think the character's still gonna stay female?
I wish I had a proper answer for that. I'm just hoping that the quality of the scripts remain high. That's all I really want. Entertain me. You got to season 1. You know,
season 1 was pretty nice. Season 2 was not the best, but it worked for what it was.
The way it might happen in the series is what I'm guessing is that after whatever happened in season 2, her powers are going to have an after effect, and it makes them change into whoever they are now, and it'll probably have like some type of multiverse metamorphosis, I'm guessing, or a timeline metamorphosis.
Something.
They never explained how far her powers could reach. Their powers could reach. Sorry about that, but that's the only thing I can think of. Other than that, or it's going to be in the show, like I no longer identify it there. And now I'm there.
Oh, PJ, you've been real quiet. Is there anything you're watching besides Orville?
I was just about to ask you guys a question, if I can.
Oh yeah,
sure.
Yeah, by the way, I've been watching Mythic Quest, which I've been enjoying.
Cool,
great show.
It's kind of different. It's very different, and but I wanted to ask you guys: are any of you guys Dark Matter fans, or have you watched Dark Matter?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, got all the seasons here on Blu-ray.
Yeah, it is on my list, man. I'm actually looking forward to actually start watching it.
Hopefully Joe Malazzi's gonna get something, whether it's a mini series or season 4 and 5 up and running again. So other than I've been watching a lot. I watched All Mankind on that Apple show, which was pretty good. At first it was a little strange to me, but then once you get into it,
it's a slow show. It's a political show.
What kind of show?
It's science fiction. It's a alternate history of Earth when the Russians beat us to the moon first. And
that show.
The conflict it causes. Yeah. All I know is that final episode, because this second season was rough, man. I mean, it was really good, but they went off on these dramatic diatribes that were not really interesting at all. And I believe in character growth and character arcs and creating those, but I felt almost like, Ron Moore was just masturbating story writing rather than getting into it and telling a good story. And I think that maybe this was pressure from Apple. I don't know, because, he was pushing a lot of woke agenda stuff in there that felt kind of forced in spots. But overall, it felt good. I was happy with some of the woke stuff, that it went well. It was written well. But there was some of it, like early on in the season, it was just rough. And finally, we get to those last 3 episodes, and it was like a wet sandbag in the gut. it was so dramatic and hard, and I had to pause the final episode 3 times. I was getting so because shit was happening, and the way they showed what a firefight would look like on the fucking moon was like so intense. I was all in. That was a great finale. I consider it one of the top 3 finales of all time.
Really? Wow.
Season finales.
For shows I'm watching right now, what's it's one of those animated ones that have all the voices from not Robot Chicken, but from
Oh, you mean
what's the one with the
Harley
Blue Jay?
Quinn?
No, with the Blue Jay that was once on Cartoon Network.
I know that one.
Regular
Fun
show?
Time? Regular show. That's
regular
it. Regular show.
Yeah, but they're voicing
Yeah.
the one on Netflix, and I've been watching that. And the 2nd season came out. I love that. Mitchell's versus the Robots or whatever, of the Machines. Love that one. It was really good. And I'm trying to watch Ragnarok. I'm really trying.
The Norwegian show. The
I
Norwegian
just can't
show.
seem to find time to watch it. It's like I've got it added to my queue.
The
to
Ragnarok, the Norwegian show.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, I will say this season 2 is super woke. It's super fucking woke.
Damn it.
Yeah, it's super woke. They talk about woke shit almost the whole show.
I love it when you have a show that has woke stuff in it, but then somebody in the show makes fun of another person in the show for being woke, and that just cracks me up.
Yeah, it's the thing is that the first season was a little woke, but not that much. It had some small hints of wokeness, but season 2, it's so woke that just the first episode, you understand it's woke.
See, the question is back to you, PJ. Have you even watched Invincible yet?
That's a good question.
That the series, you mean?
The animated Amazon series.
No, I haven't. Is it good?
Yeah.
good.
You want bloody superhero hour episodes? Yes, and they're already.
I'm hyped for season 2, man.
They've been signed for 2 and 3 seasons already.
Yeah, I'm fucking stoked.
Thanks for the recommendation. I will check that out.
Oh, we give some more, then we take some more, then we make fun of.
And it's really good voice cast too. So
it's the best. It is the best animated cast.
It looks good.
Currently on television,
and it's in the top list for animated series finales. Wow.
Yeah. It gives new meaning to catching the train.
That's because they had something similar to that in the comic book, because I've read it now, and it's like but they changed it for the show in a way that I think works better.
Yes.
The only thing that is going to suck is that it does have an amazing cast, and the next cast it's going to be that amazing is going to be Crybaby Smith's He-Mans, and we already know it's going to be Tila and the powers of her Grayskulls, because But Hamill is also in Invincible. He does actually voice in there as well.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Well, Mark Hamill's just busy.
Yeah,
everybody wants to work.
He's everywhere.
Who here thinks we're going to get an episode 10 with Lucas in charge?
I think we're going to get another movie, but I don't think they're going to call it episode 10. I think they're going to find a way to not really call any attention to that, because for all of the problems they've had, this is still Disney. And the one thing a major corporation doesn't want to do is admit that they made a mistake.
Yep.
So
they would rather fall down a flight of stairs than admit that they actually made a mistake.
Fall down the stairs. I'd pay to see that.
Then the question is, will it be called episode 10, an apology story? Brought to you by
I agree with what you're saying about that they won't admit a mistake. I actually think that by doing an episode 10, and they might actually find a way of validating that sequel trilogy, which is crap, but and kind of just moving past it while they're validating it at the same time.
Well,
just make Luke wake up from a bad dream.
I don't know. I find that when you're working with fans, because fans are your money, that's where you're going to get your money from. And for Lucasfilm Disney to bring up this last Disney trilogy in a conversation in any way, shape, or form in a new film or anything is sort of like bringing up your, somebody else's ex in a conversation.
yeah.
It's just it's like, dude, we were having a good time, and then you had to fucking talk about that person that I broke up with. Yes, Gary Busey, and or is that Jerry Busey?
What was that?
It's just I just think that it's just not a good idea to fucking bring up shit that the fans hate. Just kind of like go, we're gonna keep moving forward and pretend like this never happened. That's the best way to really deal with the fans.
Yeah.
I had another question for PJ. Can you read what the banner says, and do you believe this is true or untrue?
Gerry likes to draw Walter Hamada like Titanic.
Wow.
He's not going to kill me.
I look at it this way. Lucas has several ideas that they can go ahead and take stuff from in order to help fix what is done. And I think if Lucas becomes heavily involved in any future big Star Wars movie projects, I think you've got a very good shot at least getting back some of the talent that they had in the previous movies that they had. Daisy Ridley, I think, is willing to come back if it's something that will, first of all, have a real plot and a point to it.
Why you gotta bring me down like that, Keith? Why you gotta bring me down?
I think, look. I know a lot of people have mixed feelings with George Lucas. I will say this. Now that we've seen what Kathleen Kennedy and Disney have done, give me George any time of the day, night, whatever. The dude knows what he's doing. And again, a lot of people got to remember, this is his world. Even though Disney bought the rights to it, this is still his world. It's the same thing that I would say about Stan Lee. Stan Lee created or co-created a lot of stuff. No matter how you try to do one thing or another, he's still the creator or co-creator in many instances. So I say bring on George, and if he wants to make some changes or do certain things differently, let him. It technically is his anyway.
And even George not at his best is so much better.
Yeah, well, as the prequel trilogy proved. I mean, look at how popular the prequel trilogy now is. That is the one thing I could say, the one positive thing that came out of the whole Disney trilogy is it made the prequel trilogy more popular. So if we can get more stuff that at least equates to that level, I think we'll be all right. And if you've got Jon Favreau there to help out, I think Daisy Ridley would easily come back. I think even John Boyega would come back, because that whole Veil of the Force thing, that's gonna cure a lot of problems.
I don't know if you guys heard our interviews with Alan Dean Foster, but he made it very clear to us that he saw romance between both of them, between Rey and
Finn.
And Finn.
And
he was told to take it out.
Man.
He was told to take it out.
Yeah.
No, that's all Ryan Johansson. Ryan Johansson.
And the Lucasfilm Story Group. It's both.
Yeah, it's like
but you saw that in
no romance between the black guy. We need to give him a secondary story that goes nowhere, because even though we promote diversity, we're very racist.
So pretty much, what you want to know what Finn's secondary story was? Ray. Hold on, I got the last movie. Ray. Hey, you look good looking, Lando's daughter. How you doing?
And I remember the scene. Oh, I have something to tell you, and he never got to tell her what he wanted to.
It was just
dumb. They just made him whiny, and that's all he did.
Yes. Yeah.
They destroyed his character. He had potential, and they just mess him up.
And he doesn't want to come back, but I bet you, like Keith said, if they get rid of the current management over there at Lucasfilm, I bet you he'd come back to do a series.
Yeah. And it would all work. Look. I let's see, Mark D with a C. You're right. China would not have liked it, but you know what? China could suck it.
Whoa.
Oh, did I say that out loud?
Wait, no, wait. Keith, say that again.
I see things differently, and
Oh,
I would like to
wow.
wish the government of China.
You know, though, too, like even though focus groups can predict that certain trends in China might not be as favorable, it doesn't mean with so many, with 1 billion people, it doesn't mean that they're not going to make money. I mean, they just
Look. Whatever Lucas decides to come up with is going to be infinitely better than what we've already gotten, and and I think they'd be able to do and accomplish more with just one movie. And going into the mystical look, basically all the stuff that people told George wouldn't fly, all the stuff that people told George that people didn't, that certain people said that fans didn't want to see. That's what this next movie will probably have a lot of to help fix what has gone wrong. And George only needs one film. And then from that point on, Jon Favreau and Kevin Feige can take over and do whatever they need to do. And I know that's not something that Patty Jenkins wants to hear, but she needs to get used to it and or come up with her own stuff. You can't keep running around in this business in Hollywood if you're surrounded by people that want to create their own unique worlds and universes. Eventually, you're going to slide into something that's just not going to suit your abilities, and you're going to be uncomfortable with it. She's already run away from the MCU. Seems like she really wants to run away from the DC EU at this point. If they go back to doing what they were doing before, she's not going to like that. So my advice to her is, if you're going to keep making these types of movies, you're going to have to get used to it or do something else. I do like her, though. I do. But
sorry. It's my prerogative.
There's not really a problem with the casting. That's not the problem.
No, the casting isn't. It is the writing.
People behind it, all the writing, all that stuff.
They, the thing about the Lucasfilm Story Group is that they pretty much, their job is and has been to help remake Star Wars, and that's what they've been doing. And while we've only seen a small part of the work that they've been doing, the real job has been on the front with the comics and the books, to write and create stuff to replace the EU and to rewrite the rules of Star Wars to fit what they want. Every single book that has been published since Disney has bought Star Wars is part of that plan. Doesn't matter what the book is, doesn't matter what the character is. It's all being done to fit the narrative that the Lucasfilm Story Group and Kathleen Kennedy wanted to fit, or else it would never get published, let alone see the light of day. So once somebody new takes over, all that stuff has to be trashed, period. And again, that includes the new Thrawn novels. Okay, that stuff was approved because there's stuff in it that contradicts everything that you've learned about Thrawn up to this point. And it was done on purpose. So all that stuff is going to have to be trashed. All of it. Mm-hmm. And basically, in the words of Steve Rogers in The Winter Soldier, it's all got to go. It's all got to go.
Yep.
And with that, we're cutting it as a little shorter episode today. So PJ, I hope you can come back in the future. But it was good having you. And
I'd love to. Yeah, I'll make it.
And PJ, you're always welcome on our streams with Steven and T-shirt and Jace over at Pop Culture Minefield too.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
PJ, you are the tops, dude. Seriously.
It's always nice to see you, man.
Yeah.
Apparently we both like Tatooine.
Yeah. Give me a high five, Gary.
I hate the desert. The sand. It gets everywhere.
And I'd like to also thank the chat. Yes, it is a little shorter episode today. I don't have a schedule when it comes to booking others' crap, but I appreciate everyone who showed up. T-shirt, Keith, Gerry, Gerry, Jace, and of course PJ for being the guest and talking and sharing a little bit of his views. To the chat.
Can I ask you real quick? How close are you to monetization? You got to be close, right?
I'm at close. I'm at 1163, and the application was never responded to, so I'm still waiting. I don't know what's going on. But other than that, I want to thank everyone. We're going to leave this with a classic film, a good film, care of the one and only Perry Chan.
What happened? Ryan Johnson kidnapped your girlfriend.
We're making the movie. Just so that I could.